Hi, this is Dr. Richard Ruling here to welcome you on the Total Health Channel. Thank you for being with us again, and please like it if you do, and share it with others. Wise virgins have light to share with others, and so that's what this topic today came to me from someone that was alert, saw a video, wanted my opinion, and I actually she's going to call later today, but I was sad in a sense that some of God's people are getting, they're seeing, I have to confess, I've been premature in my expectations too, okay? And Peter, some of the best in history. Peter on the day of Pentecost said, "This is that spoken of by the prophet Joel in the last days." Well, it wasn't the last days. Last means nothing after that, okay? And there's been a lot since Peter. And Paul said, "We which are alive and remain will be caught up." Well, Paul isn't alive. He doesn't remain. Expectancy is easy. Ellen White said soon hundreds of times in reference to Christ's coming, but it wasn't soon for them. And I have previously expected major events. Didn't happen. Trying to understand the context of Jubilee, etc. So I think I'm learning from my mistakes, and I would spare some others that are coming along now making similar mistakes. And David House is projecting a close of probation for Seventh-day Adventists between Thanksgiving and December 1. And I'm going to offer you here about 5 reasons why that cannot be. And I hope he will modify his opinion before it happens, or we sometimes get labeled as false prophets, even though we don't prophesy in God's name. And I never did, but I did say I expect, and I was wrong, basically. But that doesn't, that's not a forever bad thing. The 1844, they expected too, and got it wrong bad. And we can go into that more another time. But specifically, just want to share with you why close of probation cannot be, I don't think a tsunami in Tampa, Florida is the major event that's going to signal the close of probation. Okay, I believe that when Ellen White saw a vision of an earthquake at Loma Linda, it will be a reflection of a worldwide earthquake, and we can get to that later. Well, I'll just tell you, the pioneers misunderstood the vision at the time of the end in Daniel 8:17. They thought it was the 2300 days, years, 1844, time of the end. Not so. The word for vision in Daniel 8:17 is kazon. It's ram and goat, okay? And the Bible says the horns on the ram were the kings of Media and Persia. The horn on the goat was the king of Grecia. Well, that was fulfilled in 331 BC, they thought, okay? But if Gabriel says it's at the time of the end, it's really just an application, not a fulfillment, okay? And Ecclesiastes 3:15 in the New English Bible says, "What is to come has been already. God summons each event back in its turn." We're going to see the ram and goat again. In fact, we have, okay? Because the Medes and Persians are Iraq and Iran, and the horn on Iraq, Saddam, is broken. He's gone. It's half fulfilled already. So my point is that we are missing, we're kind of blind, not seeing it as it really is. But we should be ready for what's coming. And so basically, close of probation cannot be a tsunami in Tampa. I think earthquake. Oh, I needed to finish this. Zechariah 14 says the day of the Lord comes, and that's the end time period. Day of the Lord is an extension of night of the Lord in Egypt. That was the night of the Lord, deliverance for God's people at that time. But 25 texts, only one text for night of the Lord, 25 texts for day of the Lord. And that's really what Revelation's about. When John said, "I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day," it was day of the Lord. That's what he was being shown, the end time period of judgment, when people are going to run either toward God because they love him and know him as merciful, or away from him to do their own thing and think they can somehow escape. They will not. Okay? So anyway, I just say day of the Lord is the end time period, and it comes in the context in the book of Joel, which has more references to day of the Lord than any other book. But it comes in the context of Joel 1, verse 3 and 4, 4 generations of people. You tell your children, let them tell their children, them tell another generation. And then 4 generations of insects, cankerworm, palmer worm, locust, and caterpillar. And the implication is what the locust leaves, the caterpillar eats, nothing left. Well, I think that's true too in the context of 4 generations, but Adventism didn't start, it wasn't formed, wasn't incorporated. Incorporation means corporate, means body. That wasn't a body of people until 1863. The brother House is thinking about when they started using the name Seventh-day Adventist, but incorporation and organization was 1863, and 4 generations of 40 years, 4 times 40, 160, added to 1863 would be 2023. That's 2.5 years away. So let's get ready, study, be prepared, because big serious things are coming when nothing will be left, I think, of a corporate body who has not respected Ellen White. As we whitewash her tomb. She was a prophet. We think she was great, but we really don't see how the leaders back then treated her badly and weren't going her direction, stole her school at Loma Linda to teach pharmacology, become a medical school, and not what she had in mind for natural remedies. Would have been far better if we'd have done it her way. Today, prescription drugs are a leading cause of death. I have a website, leadingcauseofdeath, prescriptiondrugs.com. And we're not seeing it. We just think money the doctors give us in tithe is great, and we don't want to offend them. We even do abortions in some of these hospitals. Bad situation, bad. I just say judgment is impending, and won't go into that further right now. But so, Day of the Lord is 4 generations. The Judgment Day that Ellen White saw is different than the tsunami in Florida, Tampa. The midnight cry has the context of Passover. That's when the first midnight cry was, and that was Egypt, okay, which is now the model we want to look at, is God came and executed judgment on Egypt and took his people to a covenant and later said, I'm married to you. And Paul said all those things happened to them for examples written for us at the end of the world. He was including the Exodus when he said, Brethren, I would not have you ignorant how our fathers passed through the sea. All those things happened for examples. Our examples written at the end. So there's more to this than we can unpack right now. But the point is that Egypt was a model for us. If we're going to sing the song of Moses and the Lamb, a song of our experience, it's going to be similar. And we are going to see God afflict this country like Egypt. And the point is partly, Egypt, as you know, killed babies in Exodus 1, Israelite babies. And America has aborted 60 million. 60 million babies. We are worse than Egypt, and our lifestyles are worse than Egypt. We smoke, we drink, we have negative, not only Roe v. Wade, but also when the Supreme Court redefined marriage so that mankind can do it with mankind. That's an abomination in Leviticus 23. I'm sorry, Leviticus 18th chapter, verse 22 to 25, when the land would spew us out. So I think just let's consider what we've got so far. It is a time of judgment impending for many sins, both in the country and in the church. And the chiastic structure, which is my 5th reason for impending, is that the Bible, if you understand chiastic, which means mirror image, Genesis and Revelation, they're mirror images of each other. Paradise, both places. Man crawled into sin or into a chasm. He crawls out of sin in the book of Revelation. And Christ created for 6 days, rested on the 7th day, and for a similar situation, he will mediate for 6 years and ceases mediation on the 7th year, a sabbatical year. Well, we have a record of the sabbatical years. The 77s of 457 to 34 AD, that was 490 years, divisible by 7. And you can extrapolate from 34 AD to 1798 to 2015 was the last sabbatical year, with multiple signs of the Pope's visit, of the Supreme Court redefining marriage, of peace and safety with Iran. A sun was darkened, moon turned to blood before the day of the Lord in Amos 2, verse 31. And we had a rare solar eclipse on the equinox, followed by a blood moon on Passover that year. And the word before is panim. It means face or facing the day of the Lord. So let's understand those signs, and the next sabbatical year from 2015 would be 2022. But if Christ is going to cease mediation in the 7th year, it has to be on a sabbatical year. It means the whole last 7 years begin after a sabbatical, like on a Sunday. The week begins on a Sunday after a Sabbath, and the same is true for the years. So end times will not start, even though Ellen White says coming events cast their shadow before, and we're seeing lots of shadows, lots of signs, but wait for 223. The confirming sign that I have for 2023 is when you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, because that will be Zechariah 14, 1 and 2. And it says the day of the Lord comes, and all nations, I think it's Muslim nations, neighboring nations, are gathered against Jerusalem, houses rifled, women ravished, half the city goes into captivity, and then the Lord is going to go forth to fight against them. I think he will do it 2 ways, with the goat that's going to come and clobber them, like we did with Iraq, but also Joel 3:16 is a text we, just like John 3:16, we need to know it. Joel 3:16, the Lord will roar from Jerusalem and the heavens and earth will shake. It will be one big earthquake. It will initiate the end times, and it's not about a little tsunami in Tampa, maybe. So thank you for considering this. God bless you. Please like and share it, and let's try to get used to talking, sharing with each other, and please let me know if you have problems. But thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again. God bless.